two of Lana, they did pretty well because this magic, they sold.
Right, when it comes to turning songs down, how hard is it when you have a major label just, backing you up and kind of pushing you into doing it and being a part of that whole world? How hard is it to just say, I'm not going to do Chris Brown because it's not my thing?
It's not hard. If the song is not right, like I said, look, I did Miley Cyrus. I did this song, Adore You, which is about a beautiful song. And at the beginning, I turned everybody down, and I turned it down, and my manager came up to me, he's like, look, it's a beautiful song, just rethink. And it's true, it was an incredible song, and I don't care if it's Miley Cyrus at the time, she was like, the biggest thing, everybody was hating on her and everything. I still done it, you know what I mean? Because it was a great song, and why I did it, because back in the days I was very good friend with Danny Taneglia, and I remember when he was at his peak, making all these remixes finally and all these things. Mojo came up to him, approached him, asked him to remix. You remember what was it? Lady, the song, right? So he got so much heat about this song. That's when he was like music conference, 20-hour set, space, everything. And he said one thing, he goes, you know what? If the song is great and I feel I can bring something to the song, I'm gonna do it. I don't play that kind of games. And that's what I do about this thing. That's why I did Miley Cyrus. But there's a lot of songs, if the song doesn't work and it's not going to transcend, I'm just not going to do it. I don't care if it's 100,000, 200,000, I'm just not going to do it.
You can just turn down the money?
I turned down a lot of people, even Depeche Mode, which is one of my biggest inspiration. They came up and they said, why don't you know what I mean? It's just, it don't work, and I just turned it down.
An important thing, I think, what Cedric said is, there's a lot of money involved now in electronic music, especially. There's always been in music, but now the electronic music scene is seeing so much money involved in it. But with music, what people see through instantly is if there's no love being put into something, and you can't put love into a remix unless you actually like the vocal, you like something about the original. And as soon as you start doing something just for money, with no love involved, it's just instantly fake. It's just plastic. It probably won't even sell anyway because people won't connect with it. Music is about that. It's not about everything. So I know it's a cliche, but it's hard. People. I don't know much about Cedric's background, but a lot of us, we didn't come from much, so when people are throwing huge amounts of money at you, I'm certain I haven't been thrown as much as him, but it's like, it's tough, but at the end of the day, you have to really still keep yourself grounded and still always do things because you love what you're doing, otherwise it's just fake.
How about that Latch remix? Which is a beautiful remix, it's a beautiful remix of a beautiful song, it's already a beautiful song, but you give it that, dark, spacey kind of thing. How did that come about?
That came about, I think, like I was saying earlier, the whole connection with the UK kind of house scene, the deep house scene. I think that the Disclosure guys, they used to come to a lot of the parties we used to do in East London. They obviously, it's all kind of interconnected with each other, and I think that they were just keen for me to do a remix. I think I had the most successful record I've ever done is my remix of Emarie Third Hungry for the Power, and once that was successful, I think again a lot of major labels were trying to get me to do stuff. And the Latch song, I love the melody. It was one of those songs, most of the time I will do a remix if I just like the vocal, even if I'm not too into the melody and I can see something in the vocal. I never do remixes unless I feel a connection to either the sound of the voice or I think it works sonically for me. But that one, I loved so much about the original, and I just wanted to make something that was that I could play, And I remember the first time I played, I was in a villa party in Ibiza, and it was very late o'clock. God knows how many days in, and I think I was there with Seth Troxler and I think one of the Taylor Buzz guys, loads of us were there, and I literally just made it on my laptop the day before, and I played it for the first time, and and everyone was like, because people still hadn't really heard the original either, because it wasn't out yet, so everyone was like,
Just beginning to be born, right?
Yeah, and everyone's like, this is the best thing you've ever done. I was like, well, most of it's actually disclosure, but but it is cool. That's what you do. You just try and bring your flavour to something that's already, fantastic.
As a producer, as a remixer, do you feel that regarding this whole EDM versus underground thing, that it's about the way the music is being made, or is it about the way the audiences listen to music? What's your take?
You mean about EDM? What's
I'm just talking about both things, Is it about the audiences more than it is about the musicians? Because, like I said before at the very beginning, it seems to me like it seems like it's an aesthetic kind of thing, like communities who follow Jamie would actually try to steer away from something more mainstream infused, if you will, just because they believe in the exclusivity of listening to Jamie. But in the end, like at the very beginning, we were talking about this whole EDM versus underground.